Now, she's been soaring high after the success of her latest movie, Piku, that's already raked in over 100 crores worldwide. It's the latest in a series of hit films delivered by Deepika Padukone. And I spoke to her earlier on the movie, her co-actors, and a lot more. So, amidst all the news of the day, she's our showstopper tonight. Let's listen in to her. Deepika, many congratulations first on the remarkable success of Piku. Did you expect this film to rake 100 crores and break, in some ways, a new record for a female protagonist?
I don't think it's something that I expected, and neither is it something that I thought about. You know, some films are just special right from the start, and I think for me the kind of love and the kind of reactions and the way people have sort of taken ownership of the film and made it their own, I think for me that has been an eye-opener. And for me, I think that's one of the feelings that I'm really, you know, that's what I'm living with. Box office, of course, is never a priority for me, but if my producers are happy, then I'm happy too.
It's nice to say that box office isn't a priority, Deepika, but I'll come back to that in a moment. But the other interesting aspect is for you to get into a character of a Bengali girl from Chittaranjan Park in Delhi, a middle-class Bengali girl, and you, of course, come from Bengaluru, lived all your life in Mumbai. How easy was it to make this transition into a Bengali character?
Bangalore. Yeah. Well, I have to admit that has been one of my, you know, one of the things that I've always had to work on is of course, getting familiar with other cultures, because I think being a South Indian, you're so isolated in a way, and I think moving to Bombay really helped in that sense, because that sort of allowed me to explore different, you know, different other cultures and languages. But I also have to say that I think Piku has definitely been one of the most difficult films of my career, because there are no crutches as an actor, you know, as a character. There are no crutches that Piku has. You know, we just had to go on set. The brief to us every day on set was just be yourself, just be. How do you just be, you know? So I think for me that, you know, I can definitely say that Piku's definitely been one of the most challenging films, because like I said, there's nothing to fall back on. There's no, you know, there's no look, or there are no crutches as an actor to sort of fall back on.
Which is the real Deepika Padukone? Which are you more comfortable in a cocktail kind of role or in a Piku kind of role?
The real me is Piku. And I think that's how I could play this part, and I think that's how, you know, I completely identified. It was one scene that they narrated to me, and I told Srijit, I said, listen, I'm doing this film, let's start now. I don't think I've ever been so excited about a film. So,
you know, in a way, what you're telling me that you are the, you know, you're not the rom-com girl, you're the papa's girl, because you're Amitabh Bachchan's daughter in a sense in Piku, of course. And that's who you are. Prakash Padukone's daughter before you, in a sense, are the rom-com girl, is it?
I'm definitely, well, I wouldn't say I'm a papa's girl, if my mom's watching this, but yes, I think in terms of what Piku stands for, the fact that she's progressive, but at the same time, someone who's very rooted to Indian culture, I think that's the part that I completely identify with, you know, while, and I think that's what most women and most girls have also identified with. But, you know, Dad, and he's very different. So he's a man of few words. Even if he feels and thinks something, he'll never express himself that much. Yeah, he's a lot calmer, less hyper.
So has Dad and Mom already seen, have your parents seen the movie? Have they seen Piku and seen you play this role already?
They've seen it about 4 or 5, so about 3 or 4 times. I've lost track, but I know that they've seen it about 3 or 4 times, and that's the first time that they've ever watched my film so many times. They've never done it for any of my other films.
But you know, if I were to ask you, Deepika, looking ahead, what would you want your career to look like? Would you like to sort of evolve into this strong female protagonist actor, Shabana Azmi, Smita Patil kind of roles, Vidya Balan in a way who's done it more recently, roles with a strong feminist perspective? Is that what you want to now see yourself doing more of?
I don't know, Rajdeep. I don't think I've ever thought about what I want to be perceived as. Even when I came out with my depression story, it's not something that I planned or something that I thought about. A lot of people thought it was brave, but it's not something that I analyzed or assessed or thought about at that point. I just felt that last year I had been through so much with myself and in my own experience, and I felt that, once I read up a lot about it, the statistics, of course I felt, that a lot of people were suffering, and I felt that if, by talking about something, if I can help other people, then why not? So similarly, I don't think I've really ever thought about what image do I want for myself, or I think you really have to just be honest to everything that you do.
Okay. I'm not going to push you beyond a point, but you spoke of depression. And you spoke about it openly and freely and quite remarkably in a public forum. How easy was that for you? Where did you get that inner strength, in a sense, to say, look, I'm going to come out, you're a public figure after all, and come out and speak about my own private health problems?
Well, the decision of wanting to speak up was not difficult at all. Like I said, I don't ever... a lot of people ask me, what about your endorsements? What are they, what are people going to think? I really didn't think, because I think for me at that point, the need was to really just reach out to people and tell them that, listen, it's okay, because this is something that I've also been through. And most importantly, that there is hope. And so I didn't think of any of the consequences or anything at that point. And like I said, I think really I think what is important, once I did the interview, reliving my experience was difficult, which is probably why I broke down at the time of the interview. Just having to relive all of that and the way I felt was
So, you became teary-eyed during the show. I remember you breaking down once when we did an awards night with you a few years ago. You seem to be someone who cries very easily. You break down very easily.
Well, let's just say I'm an emotional person.
You're an emotional person. I'm wondering whether cinema has made you like that. Is that the actor in you, or is that the kind of person you have always been? Someone who sort of has been deeply emotional. I can't imagine your father, Prakash Padukone, for example, crying that easily.
No. I've always been. Very, very sensitive. I've always been very emotional. I've always been like that.
Okay, am I allowed to ask you the cheesy Stardust question? Are you in a deep relationship with Ranveer Singh, or is this a matter of your own personal privacy in a public world?
No. I just think that I've been in a relationship where we, I think, were very vocal and we spoke about it, but I think then the attention just shifted. There's too much attention, there's too much, what do you say? I think there's just too much scrutiny all the time. What is next? When are they getting married? What is this? Family? Anyway, I just felt that it was just too much attention, and relationships, most importantly, I think what I'm trying to say is that I think relationships are extremely fragile. And especially because of the kind of lives that we lead, with the constant scrutiny, it does get tough on relationships sometimes. So I think it's better then to just sort of try and protect that as much as possible.
Let me ask you, you worked now what? With Ranbir Kapoor, Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, big success. With Ranveer in Ras Leela, big success. With Amitabh Bachchan and Irfan, now you work with Shah Rukh in Chennai Express and Happy New Year, big success. Of all the actors, who have you enjoyed working with the most?
Who is your favorite? Who is your favorite
No, it's
director?
nothing to do with my... No, nothing to do with my favorite. You're supposed to answer the question.
Oh,
You're supposed to answer the question. Who is your favorite star, co-star? It's your question to
I'm
answer.
giving you one, Irfan Khan.
You know, you're saying Irfan Khan is your favorite male actor that you've acted with. What you've gone and done, what you've gone.
It was exciting. It was fun.
You know, in a way, what you've gone, you've destroyed 5 egos. Well, you've destroyed 5 male egos in one go of all the other stars.
If I said all, that would have also become an issue for you.
So therefore, Deepika, since we are in this era of real life cinema, I am presuming that next time you meet someone who's suffering from constipation, you're going to be very sensitive to him post Piku. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for that.